How about now, Chris? Do I got audio now? Let me know, because apparently I had my mic muted. Clearly I'm a rookie. What's up? What's up? Give everyone just a couple minutes to join. How about now? Oops. And I didn't mute my phone either. Look at that. I guess I have audio now. That is good, man. Nightmares Revealed just ended. If you were with us on that TikTok live with Tony, kind of saw it there. You could have saw it on the Knott's Scary Farm page. But really was a good time. Short and sweet and to the point, which I enjoy. I got to be up early tomorrow for work, but I wanted to make sure I give you all my instant reactions to what we learned here today. But yeah, let's dive in here. All right, perfect. Thanks, Rob. Thanks for being able to hear me. Love that. Last year's event seemed way better. Yeah, I think last year was a good time as well. This one was short and sweet. And kind of just got to the point, which I enjoyed. I really was there to say, hey, what shows are returning, and if there's going to be a new show, as well as like what are our new mazes. I didn't expect any like groundbreaking announcements, but I really got to say I'm pretty ecstatic for the 2 new mazes that will be coming over to Knott Scary Farm. We got the zoo, which is going to be basically super soldiers. They were using like some animal characteristics to make humans better. So that seems like it's going to be interesting to go through. I'm curious on where that one's going to be. I've seen some like glimpses of people like filming backstage, like from Ghost Rider, I believe, and it kind of looks like there's one with like a double entrance over the reverse of where Waxworks was, or in Bloodline there's a different thing going on. All right, awesome here. As well as we got the Bloody Mary maze here, Mary, which is super awesome. If you saw the preview, yeah, the Howling Hour here saying the zoo seems like is something he would like. And then Chris here with the weird they didn't have actors come on stage like last year when the mazes were being announced. Okay, cool. I've always wanted to be a werewolf, Rob, so there's my shot. But yeah, no, the zoo seems sick. I think the big thing that I'm ecstatic for when it comes to the zoo is going to be that it's at 11, they're going to switch it over to basically lights out. That's going to be something really terrifying, something I'm not going to be excited to do in the sense that I don't like the dark. This past weekend at Midsummer Scream, one of the things we did was an escape room, and we just basically had a candle that made it super scary and terrifying. And so like I really don't like the dark. Even when we did Queen Mary's Friday the 13th event in the dark, that wasn't that great with a glow stick. So going through with just a flashlight seems great. I know that like Trick or Treat Lights Out was something they did a few years back. Well, maybe now over about 7 or 8 years ago, I think at this point, is when they did that. And that's something I had wanted to do. So being able to do that at the zoo, definitely going to make this something that you're going to have to walk through twice, at least for me. Catch the lights version. So, one of those things you probably want to hit early. If you do the buffet, probably something you want to do there is hit the zoo with its normal walkthrough and then come back later towards the end of the evening after 11 p.m. for the lights out, to get that true scary experience. But yeah, I'm curious on what this is going to be. I'm going through like a testing facility. I'm curious on what the actors are going to look like. That's going to be really interesting to see, like that first time we go through. So yeah, really excited for the zoo. Just because it's like basically 2 mazes. It's going to be the same design, same actors, but really just 2 different experiences, which is something I'm really going to enjoy. And then the Bloody Mary maze seems super cool. I mean, obviously growing up, I've heard about Bloody Mary. You're looking in a mirror, you don't want to do that. I ain't playing with that bad juju with the Bloody Mary. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to bring this to life. I think it's a tell that people have been sharing for a long time. So being able to see, like, if I was going to guess, maybe it'll be like the grimoire, where you'll kind of like go through different Bloody Mary iterations, which would be pretty sick. Or maybe we'll just go with that like Halloween night one that we saw in the teaser that they gave us. But I thought that was interesting. I also thought it was interesting, like on the Scary Farm chat, they would talk about it's like a period piece, and some people may not be as excited with that, but I love period pieces. I think one of the things that makes Knott's unique is that being a theme park with like a Western theme, being able to go into the 1800s and really feel like immersed in that is going to be something I'm excited for. But I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are here. Yeah, I like what Rob said here from the Howling Hour. That's smart. 2 mazes in one gives people a reason to go through twice. I agree with that. I said that. And then obviously with Mesmer and the Grimoire leaving, we're sad to see those go. We've loved Mesmer. I think if you've been following up the coverage from Not Scary Farm's Midsummer Scream panel, we knew that was coming, but still, it is sad to say goodbye to those 2 mazes. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll bring back the whole Mesmer entrance scene, because that was something that made it awesome in its first year, was being able to like get stopped and all of that fun stuff. So maybe we'll see some changes there. During Midsummer Scream, they didn't announce any changes, but maybe a boy can hope, a boy can dream that could happen. And then the Grimoire, another one, had a really cool opening scene back its first year when it was at the event. And obviously now it's not going to have that, but I've always loved the Grimoire. I think it was really interesting to learn during Midsummer Scream that the location inside the Mystery Lodge was not where it was initially supposed to be, but due to COVID, they had to really change up the plans there. But it should be interesting to go through that last couple times. I think that one is a maze I really do enjoy each and every year because of going through the different scenic eras, whether you're going back to like the colonial times or World War II, the 1950s. I think that's what makes that maze magical to me from a scenic design perspective. If I am being honest, it kind of does fall off a little bit, at least for me, once you get back towards like the 80s. But I think all of that beginning of it is super awesome. So I'll be excited to go through that a couple times this coming season. And then you have the other ones, you got your Origins, you've got Chilling Chambers, all of those returning, which is, we should expect the same thing there. Maybe if we're lucky with Monte Revolta, maybe leaving the LA Haunted Hayride, maybe he'll be back in the Chilling Chambers as the keeper or whatever his character's name was, but I highly doubt that. But it really is just aiming to be a strong year, in my opinion, for Not Scary Farm. Let's see here. What we got Rob saying? I prefer them to bring back the skeleton keys and do show moments in there as opposed to adding it in the maze. Okay, got it. Yeah, I'm just real excited for the event. I think coming off the high of Midsummer Scream, I was really excited for Horror Nights. Obviously, during Horror Nights, they talked a lot about the Terrifier. And then in the Midsummer Scream panel for Knott's, they talked a lot about the 2 leaving mazes. And then we got 2 new exciting mazes. So I think there's a lot of great things going. I did think it was interesting that we didn't get a whole new show. Obviously, we got the Conjurers coming back. We got the Hanging, Carnival de Grotesque come in here, the Into the Fog show. But I was kind of surprised that there wasn't a show announced for the theater. I also thought it was, maybe they made a mistake, and so we'll keep an eye on this, but they didn't announce which days the Bullet Brothers would be there, but when we do find out, we will let you all know, because obviously I think they're a big part of the event, given that they were part of the announcement event, and then they were there at Midsummer Scream, and obviously they have a huge following, so we want to make sure we show love to them as well. But I think that really caps it up here on what you can expect here. I know that there's probably other like YouTubers streaming live right now from the event, so you can catch some glimpses of that. I know that they're going to be doing a deep dive into those 2 new mazes starting here in about 15 minutes or so. So I'm gonna go look to catch those here in a bit, just because I'm really curious on what else we can expect from these mazes. As well as, I know that they're doing Lights On walkthroughs. Bullet Brothers are shooting a podcast. There's a lot going on at Nightmares Revealed tonight. So I did enjoy that. Even though they did get a little bit of a late start after 7 p.m., they did have everything done there by 8. So that really just made for a interesting time. But I think that's all of my thoughts here initially. I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time here this evening. So if you did like this, go ahead and drop a like down below. Drop a comment on what you are most excited for when it comes to Not Scary Farm this year, and we will